good morning. I want to welcome you all here today. My name is Hillary Ritt, and I am the Workforce and Adult Services Consultant with the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives. Today we are going to be talking about Kentucky Career Edge, and it is a web-based platform that we're going to learn about. The presenter, I'm very happy to introduce you to Shannon Gottke. She is the Partnership Ambassador with the Kentucky Career Center in Bowling Green, and she's going to share about this great resource that's available. I want to let you know if you have any technical issues or if you have any questions, please feel free to type those in the chat. I will be monitoring it, and one of my colleagues, Kim, will also be monitoring those questions. And you will also have access to the presentation slides and a flyer about Kentucky Career Edge. That will be available in Blackboard under the PDF slides and in the Blackboard Learn window. The webinar is being recorded today, and it will be available to you in a few weeks. And then captions are available a couple of ways. I typed in the chat just a few moments ago access to our StreamText chat, captioning, but then there are also live captions available if you say yes when you're prompted to view captions. So either way you can view captioning. And without any further ado, I'm going to stop sharing this screen and let Shannon share her slides with you. Well, again, welcome, and I'm so glad to have you all here today. And we'll let Shannon share. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. Thank you, Hillary, for that introduction. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, coming through loud and clear.
Great. All right, and you see my slide here?
Perfect.
Okay, great. All right, well, it is good to be with you this morning. I'd love to talk about Career Edge. I have been fortunate I was introduced to it when I was in career services for a college, and so I am able to give a lot of anecdotal evidence about how it works. So let me go ahead and get started here. So Career Edge, what it is and what it has. Career Edge is a career building platform, and it is for people of all ages and at all stages. And I have used it with people from high school to a man who was the director of anesthesiology at a hospital, and decided that due to the fact that he had had an accident and no longer could spend hours on his feet, he was going to switch careers. And even at that stage of his life, with all the experience and education he had, he did find things within Career Edge that helped him. So it really is for all ages and all stages. It is free. If you are a resident of Kentucky with a Kentucky zip code, setting up an account is 100% free. It's translatable to any language, supported by Google Translate. So if you do any work with new Americans or ESL students, it comes in very handy. I recently did a presentation to the Congolese leaders in our community, and I did use that function of Career Edge, and they were able, of course I couldn't read anything that I had on screen, but they told me that it was a good translation. So the other thing is that it improves itself. The more we use it, the better it gets. It has step-by-step coaching videos and pop-up guides, so it really, anyone that's using the platform, it is designed to be used by individuals, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're alone because of all the built-in assistance that they get with Career Edge. It's pretty much like having someone hold your hand and lead you through it. It has a complete toolkit to provide the user with the tangible tools for entering the workforce. And by tangible tools, I mean a cover letter, a resume, job application practice. You can even build a business plan in here. So it's got a lot to offer. Hillary, let's see. It is a web-based platform. There is nothing to download, and because it's web-based, it is also mobile friendly. You can access your Career Edge account from anywhere that you've got internet access on your PC, your laptop, your pad, your smartphone. The first thing I'd like to show you in here is our orientation. And these are used, the orientation is used by a lot by our career advisors. And the benefit of it is it's kind of twofold. In a setting like a library, I don't know that you would have a lot of use for it. But we Okay. Hillary, is this problem on my end?
I'm going to let Kim see. I can hear you okay.
Okay.
Angela's also mentioned she has no sound. Folks, let's see in the settings.
I say I can hear you guys fine. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds like maybe you're trying to rejoin and or leave and rejoin will help. Thank you all for your feedback.
Okay. All right. Okay, great. So people, it sounds like they've got sound now. Okay, so the orientation is part. It was added after the fact in order to. They took 6 of the modules and they designed these for quick consumption. They have been modified. They are part of the larger picture, but these 6 have been modified for quick use. And you could get through this orientation probably in 2 hours if you set your mind to it. But you take a pre-assessment and a post-assessment at the beginning of each module and at the end of each module. And at the end, you can see here in the little blue box that says My Edge Score. And what this does is it kind of gives the user and any coach that they've got, a career coach, an instructor, anybody that's helping them, it gives them a good idea of what where they stand with their regard to their readiness to enter the workforce. If you do nothing but the orientation in Career Edge, you will still come out better prepared to enter the workforce than you were before you went in. It also does give you links and experience with all the tools in the toolkit. So if you've got somebody that's kind of a hit and run, they need to consume a lot of information, get a lot of experience with the platform in a short amount of time, the orientation is a good place to start. We have 2 assessments. One is a personality test and the other is a career cluster, which is an interest assessment. The personality test, do what you are, and it's designed, I'm sure that probably most of the people on this webinar have taken a personality test in the past. And the ones that I've taken, I was accustomed to answering between 80 and 100 questions to get to the results. But this one only asks 4 questions. And the way that it's formatted is, as you see here, you'll be asked 4 questions. Are you an introvert or extrovert? Are you a sensor or are you intuitive? Are you a thinker or a feeler? And are you a judger or a perceiver? And at the end of that, you are going to get your personality type. This happens to be my personality type. So at the end of this, it's going to give me an overview of my results. It's going to tell me a little bit about myself. And it's engaging, it's quick. You get a lot of return on a small investment of time with this. You can download it and save it. You can print it. You can take it again. But what you find is that people that have never taken one before are pretty enchanted and mystified by the fact that they can answer 4 questions and then get so much on target information about themselves. So it's going to tell me a little bit about my personality type. It is going to tell me my work-related strengths and give me a chance to give some feedback on it. It is also going to tell me how to overcome my weaknesses in the workplace based on my personality type. Give me some suggestions on how to improve my performance. You will even be given a secret weapon. My secret weapon, it kind of sounds like a condensed version of my faults. Be better organized, be more patient, and improve my social skills. So I think some of them are more encouraging than that. But that happens to be mine. And then finally, it will give you some satisfying jobs, a list of satisfying fields, satisfying jobs for your personality type. If I am an INTP, these are the things that I might enjoy doing. The next component is our career cluster. And if you have ever worked with anyone who comes to you for assistance in doing a job search, and you say, well, what are you interested in? I don't care. I was just looking for a job. I don't know what I want to do. I don't care what I do. I just want a job. And most times that is going to, you're not going to get a great outcome from that. We all know that if we are interested in what we do and we like what we do, we are going to be more likely to stick with it. So this kind of helps put them on the right path, and it's definitely a good starting place. So it's a picture-based assessment. It determines the industry that the customer would most enjoy, and at the end of it, they can look at the ONET information that's provided by the labor market and the Bureau of Labor Statistics on the professions that come up as high scoring on their career cluster. So you can see here it's very simple. It takes about maybe 10 minutes to do. You do want to put some thought into it, but it's going to let you choose how you feel about each of these 48 activities. You respond with an emoji, and at the end you will get your results, your top 3 areas of interest, and it can really lead you down the rabbit hole with information. For a short-term investment of your time, you are going to get so much information. And this will give information on all of the top, or the 16 national career clusters. You click on any of these and it is going to tell you the outlook. Is this job right for me? What education would I need? What skills do I need? What is the outlook for this profession? And then just a lot of information here. The next thing I want to show you are the modules. There are 18 modules within Career Edge, and they are equally divided between student success or life skills and professional development. So you can see some of the titles here, getting to know yourself, etc. And then on the professional development side, we really hit the interviewing, the resume, cover letter, preparing for interviews. And then once they've got the job, we don't stop there. We have a module on the job success, and then your work-life balance and preparing for the future. Inside the modules, they are all formatted the same. They're designed to look the same, and you are always going to see your objectives, a little introductory video to tell you what to expect. There is a workbook, which I'll show you in the next slide, and there is an audio lesson. So the audio lesson appeals to me because I love audio books and I drive a lot. So I can download these. It's a downloadable MP3. I can listen to it through my phone when I'm driving or, through my car speakers. So I love that aspect of it. And it's not just being read to out of the workbook. It's a lecture by the creator of Career Edge. His name is Chris Casilius, and he is CEO of our company. He's internationally acclaimed in the field of career building. He's been on shows like 60 Minutes, so he's very knowledgeable, and the audio lessons are engaging. You'll also have videos, and these are short 2 to 3 minute videos, which are designed to focus the user on the core content of the module. So if they do nothing but listen to these videos, they will still get a lot of the information. It's got assignments associated with each, a quiz, and then links to the toolbox in each of the modules, or the toolkit. This is a shot of the workbook. It's almost 500 pages long. It's easy to page through. You don't fill in the assignments in the workbook. Those are available to you through the module in down or fillable PDFs, which you then save to your account. So what we're trying to do with Career Edge is answer the challenges that are associated with professional development, and those are, of course, your resume building, getting practice with interviewing, and finding tools that will teach. Our solutions are the resume builder, the interview simulation trainer, and the mock job application and e-portfolio, which I will show you. Here's our toolkit. You can see that it contains an interview simulation trainer, resume builder, e-portfolio, mock job application, and then you can create a business plan, and it's got templates for a cover letter and a thank you letter. The interview simulation trainer is the last tool added, but it is a remarkably handy tool in that it will allow people to practice their interviewing skills without having to get in front of a person. So he is going to tell you a little bit about it. You start your interview, and it will take you to the interview itself. You're going to have your built-in interviewer here. Your face will show up on the right side of the screen. You will use your built-in camera with on your laptop or your PC. And it will allow you to answer the top 15 interview questions, top most common interview questions. And if you have got, for instance, why did you leave your previous job? You've got some questions about how to answer that. You can get some coaching. So you will click here on the Get Coaching, and your coach will pop up on the screen, and he will give you some advice on what information to include when you answer that question. And there is coaching on all 15 of the questions. So you will record yourself. If you like the way it looks, you'll save it and go to the next question, or you can re-record it. And then those answers and your video interview will be saved in your Career Edge account. And what you can do with that is give someone access to it so that they can give you feedback and advice on it. And I use it that way a lot. From the admin side, if you've got administrative access, you can go in and watch this person's interview. You can make notes and give them feedback. And a lot of times, if you're working with someone either in a remote area, they might be remote, they might be shy, they might be a little bit defensive, they might just not take verbal feedback very well. But what you can do is go in and either you can watch their interview and give them, constructive criticism, praise them on the things that they did well, and it just works out very well. And it allows that person to, this is what I look like. This is how I sound. They can get that out of the way. I think a lot of nervousness comes with wondering what the other person sees in an interview. This person on the other side of the table from me, what is he seeing when he looks at me? What is he hearing? And once you know how you come across, you can forget about that and you can focus on answering those questions to the best of your ability. So it's an extremely valuable tool. The resume builder in Career Edge is probably our most widely used tool. It was our claim to fame for a long time because you know that there are a lot of resume builders out there. And a lot of them say that they're free, and they are free to use. However, they're not free to download, they're not free to print. So people invest a lot of time in getting those filled out, only to find they can't do anything with it later. All the tools, of course, within Career Edge are free to the account holder. They can build as many resumes as they want. They are going to choose, they're going to name the resume, they'll choose a program. So this drop down contains many programs and industries and careers. They will choose what they are the most, either what they're the most experienced in or the field that they're interested in entering. For instance, I used it with students who might have had factory experience, but they were going into medical assisting. So instead of choosing manufacturing here in this choose your program drop down, they would choose medical assisting because that's the field they're going to be searching in. So if you've got work experience, you can choose a chronological resume. If you don't, then you can choose a functional resume. It is going to lead you through the 5 parts of the resume. About you, the summary, work experience, your education, and then there's one more tab that will let you add any volunteer experience you've got, any certifications that you've got. It just wouldn't all fit on the screen here. So there is one more. You will do your summary. Some people, I mean, you get the question, what is a summary? What should I say about myself? If you're not sure about that, you can watch this little coaching video in the upper right hand corner, and she's going to give you some advice about what to include in your summary. And you remember back when we named the resume and we chose a program, we chose accounting. That slide had accounting chosen in it, and based upon the fact that accounting was chosen, it is going to give you a list of qualifications, a list of suggestions for skills and qualifications. So are you able to calculate payroll? Are you able to prepare simple tax returns? And any of those things that apply to you, you would just click this plus sign and it would add it, the plus sign to the left of the statement. It would add it to your resume for you. And the advantage of that is that it not only has everything professionally worded and correctly spelled, but it forces the user to think about the tasks that they have done. A lot of times, you know, people, they have a hard time articulating what they did on the job, and this really helps with that. We get to the work experience, and if whatever your last job was, you can choose from.
Shannon, it stopped sharing. Do you need my assistance?
I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's not allowing me to get back into, hang on, let me close this and start back up. Okay, here we go.
Let me know if you need me to share your slides for you. It looks like, okay.
Okay, I've got it shared. I just need to get back to where I started. I'm sorry about this. It seems like we're having a lot of difficulties today. Let's see. Okay. So with our work experience, when you start to list those jobs, as you know, if you've ever had anyone come in and ask for your assistance with building a resume. It's enormously time consuming, and one of the hardest parts is for them to think back about the experiences that they've had. This really assists with that. And you've heard people say, I haven't really done anything. You know, I worked at Walmart. Well, that's retail sales. So again, based upon the fact that you choose your previous job here, you are going to get suggestions again for what you might have done. The one that I usually pull up is the food and restaurant industry. Because you've heard, no doubt, people say, I don't really have any skills. I've only worked at McDonald's. Well, yes, there are a lot of skills associated with that. And what this does is make the user a little bit introspective, and it gives them some pride in what they've done. It will professionally word that, and it looks great on paper. So it's very time consuming, very beneficial to, or I'm sorry, very time saving. Once you have filled out all of the sections of the resume, you are going to come to the end where you will save and download it. And before you do that, you will choose the template. You know, what do I want my resume to look like? They've got 13 templates here to choose from, and you can test it out, see how it looks in any of them. You can download and print it in every one of these if you want. Another thing that I forgot to mention about that is that every step of the way through the resume, when you start to progress to the next section, it will force you to either save your work and continue, or continue without saving. So you're not ever going to come to a place where you are in danger of losing your work there. The next tool is the ePortfolio, and this is exactly what it sounds like. There are places here where you can save all of your tangible materials. You can save your resume, cover letter. You can save your transcripts, your references, your letters of recommendation. You can record a video and put the link here. You can add the links to all of your other social media if you decide to. Your LinkedIn account, your Facebook account, whatever you choose to include here. There's a tab where you can include your career preferences. You can include your employment information, and that would be, what shift do you want to work? What are your required wages? You can give them access to your assessments, and that would be your career cluster and your personality test. And one thing that I'd like to mention about those two assessments is that it's fun, once you've taken both of those, to compare the two and see, you know, do they mesh well together? When you take that personality test and it gives you your list of good careers, do those mesh with what with your result in your career cluster? And it's interesting to see how those two things can fit together. But once you have created your or gotten your ePortfolio perfected, how do you want it to look? Have I included everything that I need? You can click the link up here at the top where you see the URL and the click to copy button. You can, if you click that, it will automatically add it to the resume that you've built in your resume builder. So you can add this ePortfolio link to your resume, and you can give anyone that you send your resume to, any potential employer, access to your ePortfolio. It's your online brag book. It's a place to save your materials, and they will have access to that. Now, what you see here on the screen is not what they will see. If you went up to this in the upper right hand corner and clicked view profile, what you would see is a professional headshot that you've uploaded, and then all of your materials as the potential employer would see it. So it's got a little bit different look. The next thing is the mock job application. What a lot of people don't stop to think about is the fact that your job application is going to make your first impression on your behalf. In lieu of a face-to-face meeting, you will be judged on how you fill out your application. When I was first introduced to Career Edge, my student population was an alternative population, and I dealt with adults who had usually, the vast majority were adults who had a lot of, or I would have thought, had a lot of experience in filling out job applications. But I was honor bound to use this because when our school bought it and paid a lot of money for Career Edge, I was expected to use it. So I thought, you know, I will go ahead and give this assignment and see how it turns out. And much to my surprise, it was just enormously beneficial because I found that people did not they did not capitalize their names. They did not spell things correctly. They were very sloppy in their job applications. And what I love about this is that you can see here, I put in my first name, but I didn't capitalize it. And so I got a pop-up here. Make sure to capitalize the first letter of my name. Down here, it's going to remind me to use a professional email address, which is very important. I had students that used really ridiculous email addresses and they did not make good impressions. I had one whose email address was girl on the big comfy couch, and that had a bad connotation because what I thought of her as, I mean, I knew what she was talking about. It was a show on PBS, a children's show, but when I see girl on a big comfy couch, I think unmotivated. I don't think of someone who's a go-getter or someone that, you know, I'm really eager to employ. So, all throughout this, you are going to have coaching and in the form of videos and then these pop-up advisories. This is where I like to show the fact that it can be translated. So if I hit that translate button and choose a language, it is going to translate everything that you see on the screen into the language that you choose. Now, what you type will be in English, but the questions and the advice will be translated into the language of your choice. It can even translate the subtitles on the videos. So if you choose to do that, what you hear will still be in English, but what you read will be in the language of your choice. Okay, and then this tool, the creating a business plan, I frequently get questions from people who would like to start their own business. Now, that's not something that I know a lot about, but I direct them to Career Edge, and I say go to, register for an account, go to the toolkit, and go to this tool right here, creating a business plan. And it is going to, again, walk them through this process. They will be given information and then they will complete these assignments. And once those assignments are completed, they will be able to download a business plan. And it might be something that they would need to tweak. They might need to make some changes to it, but it is a much better launch pad than just a blank screen. So it's a great starting point, and it's a great resource for me when someone comes to me and needs assistance like that. I'm much better able to guide them to someone that can help them if they've already got a place to start. So again, this is it's a tool for them, but it's also a tool for me. And then Career Edge also has an administrative staff portal. Now, that is something that is useful if you meet with groups of people, and in libraries, probably a time that that you might use that is if you decide to present ongoing workshops. to groups of people. For the most part, the administrative staff portal would not be of use to you unless you've got people that you need to track. You need to track their progress, or you need to show that they've made improvements in an area. The tools that are included in it are ones that can be shared with you outside the administrative staff portal. So it's largely used to send and receive messages and provide feedback to users. You can check all of the users' activities, their exercises, their quizzes, their recordings, their resume, and then to generate customer usage report. If there came a time that you needed to say, hey, we have had 30 people this month come into the library and use this tool, then you could generate a report from that. Otherwise, you would be most interested in the facilitation resources. And those are in Google shared folders, and those can be shared with you outside the admin portal. If you've got administrative access, you will see a dashboard, something like this. So it would list the people. Now, you would most likely be a regional admin, and so you would only see accounts that were included in your own region. So your numbers would be somewhat smaller than this, but this gives you an idea of what you can access through the admin portal. You can access accounts, assignments, job boards, etc. You can filter results by date. Up here you can see, and not all regions dashboards look exactly the same. Normally at the top you would see a tab that's called facilitation resources, and those are links to the Google shared folders where you can get PowerPoints. Each of those 18 modules has a PowerPoint designed specifically for it. It's complete. It's got a complete lesson plan. So if you decided that you wanted to start offering community workshops on professional development or life skills, you could go to these facilitation resources. You could download the PowerPoint, get the lesson plan. You have got access to all of the assignments in PDF format. And the reason that we've done that is because when we go into places where not everyone has access to a computer, we can print out those resources and hand those out on paper. We can go old school or high tech, and we want to make sure that nobody gets left out of that. Okay, from the admin, this is just an example of how you can track from the admin side student assignments. So you can see here that it's really possible to get as specific or as broad as you want to from the admin side. And I won't spend much time on that because this is something that if you decided you needed it, I can create admin access, and then we would do another tutorial over that side of the platform. And then lastly here, we have got just some general information. My advice, what I would encourage you to do is to create your own Career Edge account at KentuckyCareerEdge.com, and that's the link right there. The best way to learn it is just to go in there and create that account, play around with it, take a look at the toolkit. It's fun to play with. There's just a huge amount of information contained in it, and you can hit and run with it, or you can go all the way down the rabbit hole with it. We have got high schools that are using Career Edge. They've lost access to the tool that they used to use, and they are now using Career Edge for ILPs. We've got recovery centers that are using it. It's being used in conjunction with the Jobs for Life. It's being used at a lot of colleges post-secondary education. It's widely used across the state. Here in Warren County, our library has expressed an interest in using it because on certain days of the week, the recovery center, for instance, they are allowed to be there certain times of day, and then for certain hours of the day, they have to be off the premises, and a lot of times they spend that time in the library. So it's a very productive way for them to use their time if they can log into Career Edge, create an account, and use that time getting prepared to find a job once they've been out. We also use it in jails for the reentry programs. So it's being widely used in the state, and it's just a tremendous tool, especially considering that that unlimited licensing has been bought for the state of Kentucky, and it's free to all Kentucky residents. So, Hillary, did I have any questions anywhere, or would anybody like to ask a question?
I don't see any, excuse me, I don't see any questions in the chat right now.
Okay.
You just mentioned about, oh, okay. So Julie Hendricks has asked, how can she request an admin account?
Okay, that's a great question. You can email me at my email address here on the screen, shannon@careerteam.com. And then Robert Boone he was our previous workforce board president, and he now works for Career Team. He is also a resource. However, he has told me that he will probably just turn those questions right back around to me. So you can feel free to email me if you want admin access. If you get into Career Edge and you find that you've got questions about it, I am always happy to schedule a Zoom either for a group or for an individual and give an overview of the user side or the admin side or both of those. And if you decide to email me, just go ahead and put in the subject line Career Edge question, and that is going to catch my eye immediately, and I will get back to you very quickly.
Thank you, Julie, for that question. Thank you, Shannon. You had mentioned about this being free and for anybody in Kentucky. So as long as their zip code is a Kentucky zip code, they can access this, and they can.
That is correct.
They could even leave if they happen to get a job in another state, but they still have their account. They could still be able to access it through their account that they set up.
Yes, that is correct. And interestingly, as long as you maintain your password, you don't, even if you lose access to your email address, you can still use that email address as your username. So that is, unless you have to have a password reset, you can continue to use that same email address as your username.
That's great.
So,
I thought of another question. Some of these, the workbook is it compatible with screen readers, that folks that would have visual impairments, would it be compatible with a screen reader?
I believe that it is. We had that question on a Zoom not long ago, and I believe that the answer was yes, that it is. And I will double check and let you know, but to the best of my knowledge, it is.
Well, actually, I think you may have answered that for me before. So but yes, please don't hesitate. And I will drop my email in the chat too, folks, if you have questions after today. Don't hesitate to email me, and I can connect you with Shannon too.
We might have people on here who are who have a background in education, and my background with education was largely the career services, I did have to teach a professionalism seminar and facilitate intern and externships. So that is where I used Career Edge. I did that for 9 years, and I used Career Edge for the last 2 of those years. And in the 2 years that I used Career Edge, I saw my placement rate. And if you have any dealing with education, you know that a placement rate is how you live or die. I, to stay accredited, had to place 70% of students in their field of study. And this helped me raise the placement rate over 2 years. I always had a good one, but this one made it excellent. It went up almost 18%, my placement rate. And I don't attribute all of that to Career Edge, but I do give Career Edge some credit because it is a place where you can go for everything. You've got all of your resources, all of your materials, and a place to store everything that you do. So I do give it a lot of credit. They call me, and this is just corporate lingo, but and there's somebody like me in all of the states where we have contracts, but I am called a Career Edge champion. And I always tell people that I was not born a champion, I evolved into a champion. And I was I was used to doing things my way when the school that I worked for bought Career Edge. And I was a little bit resistant in the beginning, but thank goodness I gave it a chance, and I saw the value in it. When we first moved to Bowling Green, Kentucky, we moved into a house that had mature landscaping, and I didn't like it that much. And I thought, you know what, I think I might just tear this out. But over the course of the next year, I saw exactly why everything was where it was. It provided shade. When one thing died, another thing bloomed. And I thought, thank goodness I gave that a chance. And I felt the same way about Career Edge. Thank goodness I gave that a chance, because one of the things that I really love about it is that it gave me over time the chance to see that it doesn't say you are joining the workforce and the workforce is a round hole. You are a square peg, and so we're going to sand those corners off and help you fit in. Career Edge goes at it from the opposite direction. It says it's fine to be a square peg. It's fine to be a triangular peg. There are holes for every peg, and we're going to help you find the one that you fit into. So it forces the user to be introspective. It forces the user to give themselves credit, to think about the things that they've done in their lives, and to learn how to apply those transferable skills to what they want to do in the future. So I am a huge advocate of Career Edge, but it's free, so I'm not selling it. I'm just all of my evidence is anecdotal. I believe in what I see working, and I did see this work. So I can't say enough good things about it.
Well, thank you, Shannon. Any other questions coming in? Please feel free to type those in the chat. I did want to mention, Shannon touched on folks having questions about business plans and so forth. And Shannon works at a career center in Bowling Green, but there are career centers throughout the state. And so if you get those kind of questions and you're able to help the person through Career Edge, but they need additional help, certainly you can reach out to the career center that's in your region or in your county. And if you need help connecting with them, please reach out to me. I'll be glad to help facilitate that. And also, Shannon, if it's okay, I'm going to pop up our last slide to let folks know about the how this webinar came to be, and go on and drop a survey in the chat. We certainly appreciate folks being able to come today. And so if just hold on a second, I'm going to share our sponsor slide. This webinar has been sponsored by the Institute of Museum and Library Services. I want to thank them for that, and thank them for providing the services like this, webinars like this. My computer's gotten a little bit slow, so going to have to get the survey in just a second. But folks, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to ask those, and or if you have any additional questions that come up, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to drop the survey link in here just a moment. Thank you all for your patience.
Hillary, I would like to thank everybody for their time and attention, and I'm sorry about any technical difficulties that took place.
Oh, Shannon, thank you so much for being here and doing this webinar. Certainly appreciate it. Folks, again, this webinar will be available in a few weeks as a recording. The captions are, well, it will have the captions. So if you had trouble hearing today, again, please accept our apologies for that. And I don't know, Kim, are you able to, I'm not able to get my survey to drop in. My computer has gotten slow. Are you able to drop that survey in, the survey link in? If not, I will send that out to you all at a later time. Thank you, Paula, for participating. So glad to have you all here today. Thank you, Kim. And thank you again, Shannon, for leading this. And Sharon, thank you. Thank you so much, Kim.
It was my pleasure, Hillary. And if anyone has questions that pop up, again, please send me an email. I love questions. I love the chance to answer them, and I'd be happy to hear from you.